Scale B2B sales quickly, efficiently, without six-figure mistakes. So this is really for fast-growing 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs that are committed to increase pipeline revenue and efficiency with an all-bound engine, with the right revenue enablement, and with HubSpot, instead of wasting tons of time on unqualified leads, on hiring tons of people, on buying into Salesforce and wasting money there, without like really following a methodology such as winning by design, in our case, where we certified a consulting partner for revenue architecture. So why is B2B sales scaling even so hard today compared to the last roughly 5 years, where there was free money, zero interest rate policy, people were on a buying spree a bit, so you could make a lot of six-figure mistakes and still be successful. This changed drastically, so growth at all costs is dead today. You need to be better with less money. You cannot just focus on top line growth. You cannot just add mass, including lots of fat, in terms of like, hey, if you have a problem, let's just hire people. Let's just do more paid ads. Let's just do more channels, more markets. So, because if you do that, you lose flexibility and efficiency. 2025 onwards, you really need to focus on bottom line growth, on efficient growth. You need to basically do the right things in the right sequence without tons of mistakes, and you need to have more runway in terms of free cash flow to be able to afford like downtimes and to be able to invest if the momentum picks up. So one thing that we experience time and time again with clients is that trust, experience, and beliefs decide if you scale size or if you pretty much die trying, because the compelling reasons to buy from you now, it's not your feature. It's not like that people have a fear of missing out anymore. It's not like, hey, this would be nice and sometime in the future you could be in great company, or anything else. Like, just forget it. Like, either you help somebody get promoted, shine internally, get promoted fast and easy. You have a really credible return on investment case based on a future scenario. This can still work if it's really like a 5 to 10x return on investment, but two real value drivers for people to take action now, like in 2025 versus next year, are really high costs of inaction. So dollars, euros, Swiss francs per time lost. And this is really the argument, like, hey, every week I wait like 100K leave the bank, which don't need to leave the bank. And the second one is like fear of messing up. Like, I have a fear of messing up, of not being compliant with a regulation, of not handing in my financial report, of losing top talent, of not capturing market share, of not going live with my like core system on time to ensure operational readiness and operational safety in that sense. So things that help you to keep your job. If your solution basically has anybody believe, based on past experience or like people not trusting you, that you don't do this, like people will just not buy from you. Then the challenge comes internally, like that you might expect from your team to hit message market fit, like what message to put to whom, over which channel, in which product, and so on. That's a founder's job typically. Like, you want them to build an all-bound engine, so build inbound sales, build outbound sales hard enough to combine into a holistic go-to-market engine, to build and run the CRM. Do you also expect them to build a website, the product? Like, I mean, it's just not a job like a typical marketing or sales or customer success hire does. And then to close deals quickly without the above components, with zero enablement, such as world-class athlete, like, it's really risky to do that for a 5-figure base salary versus like 100K plus, which you can earn in like corporate companies that are doing far more than like 100 million in ARR. So why is this doomed to fail, right? People lose focus. Like, if everything the light touches is part of the job description, they don't have the capabilities. They never learned how to do these things. They might lack the commitment because they can say like, look, if I need to do these things, I can get another job in a corporate, in like a bigger company where I don't need to do this. And they don't have the capacity to send cold email campaigns, like fix HubSpot reports, craft copy, then like introduce a sales methodology, and then coach each other on the deals, and then learn like how to do things without the right enablement. So more than 99% of B2B entrepreneurs never reach profitable 8-figure annual recurring revenue. So due to a lack of pipeline, so there's no repeatable, scalable go-to-market, there's no all-bound mindset skills, the tooling is lacking, there's no message market fit, there's no time, focus, and energy to get it right, and there's no clear path from lead to customer. So you need to increase qualified pipeline, not leads, not MQLs, not like shiny objects such as LinkedIn likes, but really qualified weighted sales pipeline that turns into revenue. Also, we very often see like a lack of revenue enablement, even in larger companies. There's a lack of deep discovery for these 7-8 figure business cases. There's a lack of rigid qualification and disqualification of prospects that will never become customers. There's a lack of control in the buyer journey, of controlling like with mutual action plans and so on, like when somebody will convert to a customer or not. There's a lack of a holistic methodology, which is just the most normal thing to do in elite sports, in cooking, in music and so on. And there's really no training and coaching as it is for like basically six-figure salaries you sometimes pay out, right? The third component is besides like the need to close bigger deals faster, because like your momentum, your velocity is really crucial to advance the companies, a lack of sales efficiency. So one, you really have an expensive buyer journey. You need like 4 calls, custom documentation every time, where 2 might be sufficient. You have an expensive tech stack based on the Salesforce, Zuora, Pardo, 6 Sense, Apollo, and whatever. You have an expensive sales team with like tons of SDRs who don't generate pipe, a lot of like leadership, a lot of senior account executives who don't hit 500K plus of ARR per year. You have an expensive go-to-market approach with multiple go-to-market models at the same time. And you have expensive reporting where you cannot scale the business in a data-driven way. So really need to scale sales efficiency. What we learned and how we can help based on more than 350 B2B clients in the last 6+ years. So of these 350, about like 40% in Germany, 40% in Switzerland, 20% in Western Europe. Pretty much all of them with like 6, 7, 8-figure ARR. And quite some of them had actually got there from like 0 to 10 million ARR in less than 3 years one time, more than 10 times, like double, tripled ARR at 7 figures in less than a year. So that's like 2 to 4 to 6 million, for example, or like 4 to 8. And then over 50 times where we had 2 to 10x ARR within less than 3 years. Many clients often close their biggest and first ever 6-figure deals working with us. Their average annual contract value is at 4 or like lower 5 figures, and really help to increase average contract value by 2 to 10x. Like the deal size through value selling, the deal size at 0 product changes, so that's all EBITDA, right? And then like 2x ARR with 0 new logos in an expansion case and like pricing case. And also what sales leaders often report just fact-based messaging in terms of like getting the feedback from them, like 5 to 10 hours per week back. So like literally like 10 to 25% of the week every week. That sales leader, instead of burning out, like once they coach more than like 3 to 4 reps, they regularly burn out fast, more often, if they don't manage to do this. So here's just a few logos of like Beekeeper already at Series C now, Boost Bar 0 to 10 million ARR, Arclet raised an 8-figure Series A, similar case studies all along. And I think it's really all about like scaling sales, not salaries here. So one thing we found out in all these case studies, people ask like, hey, you are different, but what you do is not hyper scalable. It's not an information product. It's not an enablement platform. It's not one size fits all. We really appreciate that you have a lead consultant sitting down with us and actually taking care of our really distinct business in B2B mid-market enterprise sales to help us actually like scale sales quickly without avoidable mistakes. But I've never heard of this before in like this bespoke way that you really care like in a one-to-one ways of working. So would it be more scalable for us to do like this one-size-fits-all information product enablement platform? Yes, we did it to a certain degree. We scaled 0 to 1 million with that approach in some offerings. But in 2025, you just need to have like a more bespoke, higher accountability, more specific approach to your business. So you need to integrate pipeline, people, processes into a holistic revenue engine without making 6-figure mistakes. So it's kind of complex to orchestrate the pipeline generation in the awareness and education phase to increase demand, trust, sales velocity, and weight the pipe. And then at selection to not only close the deal once, but also do the onboarding, the retention, and the expansion right, because this recurring revenue comes from recurring impact. And very often, like in a SaaS or like similar subscription model, like more than of the client lifetime value comes after the first signature than before. And then underlying of that, you need a system, like 80% plus of the 7 and 8-figure ARR entrepreneurs we meet actually use HubSpot to really put all this process into action. And very often we see that instead of hiring like 5 more people, you can just like have better processes, have more pipeline, have better qualification, and then instead of like adding like $500,000, $1 million in payroll, you can just do that at like a 5-figure investment. What does that mean in functionally, right? You need to break down product market fit to its variables to solve this equation. So who do you sell to, like the persona like at which company, what's the problem you solve, what's the impact that you achieve in terms of costs of inaction saved, what's the timing, what are the resources available at which ICP buyers, and then break that down to product channel fit as well. What's the average annual contract value, what's the switching cost from pen and paper, Excel, internal consultants, or like a legacy solutions with an existing contract, and what's the channel with the highest deliverability and the highest trust of your ICP buyer persona. So like sometimes people ask, is it email, is it LinkedIn? Like sometimes it might be physical letters, like 100% opening rate, really high trust in the channel if you sell to public services, to governmental institutions, to education, for example, to energy and real estate sometimes, depends on the segment. So you really need to fix this equation, because if one component is zero, like you do everything right on your cold email, but like you just land in spam, CD, deliverability is zero, the whole equation is zero. You don't do anything. So the bigger challenge we uncovered is actually that you lose your top performers, including the co-founders and CEOs, or you burn yourself out like at 7-figure cost. Like if you lose like a co-founder, if you lose like your VP sales, if you lose like your top performing sales rep or your top marketer, that has 7-figure costs in terms of like costs of inaction, of not keeping them, not buying back your time, not retaining rockstar talent, and not avoiding these 6-figure mistakes. Because if you do it yourself, you might work nights and weekends. Kudos to you for the grit, for the hunger and drive, but you burn yourself out over time. And if you lose top talent, that literally has like $1 million+ in costs. If you need like half a year to staff them again, train them again, ramp them again. With bespoke enablement, still 4-figure monthly investment, you can enable your team to scale. So you save 5 to 10 hours per week, every week. You keep the rock stars. And then in some cases, it might just be that you don't find the right VP marketing, the right VP sales, the right account executive, the right SDR. So you can staff the needed capacity today versus waiting a lot of time, like paying a headhunter 20-30K, and you can get sales on the next level within months while avoiding losing top talent or burning yourself out. So what does this mean, for example, in terms of like tech, buying back your time and scaling your demand and pipeline without scaling expensive sales development reps or paid ads? Like Sift, for example, helps you get person level GDPR compliant website identification, can directly put it into Clay, Trigify, does the same for social engagement, for other triggers. You can then use smartly to have like cold email campaigns that are not so cold anymore. Hey, reach for outbound LinkedIn, and you can all do all of this without a single SDR. It just works automatically once it's set up, and you get like warm replies, like positive replies back to your inbox. So how you can benefit starting today, quickly, efficiently, without wasting any money. Right now, we actually offer this without like charging for it. I'll be really more rigid on qualifying, like if you can help, if you see the potential to help, but then claim your bespoke pipeline generation launchpad here. Like join a 90-minute deep dive session, how to increase awareness and trust, accelerate message market fit, and build this AI-based Allbound engine with us. Just click the button here, book your 90-minute deep dive session. The same for revenue enablement, increase your win rate, increase velocity and customer lifetime value, increase rep retention, and the same for HubSpot. So to buy back your time, to keep your sales reps focused on sales, not systems, and how to increase sales efficiency. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to scale B2B sales quickly, efficiently, without 6-figure mistakes, just book the right launchpad for you or reach out to me directly. Looking forward to your success and happy selling. Bye-bye.